Hello and welcome to the Be Glad movement. My name's Pollyanna and I'm on a mission to bring you as many stories as possible of good coming out of bad and reasons to be glad. And today I'm joined by Chelle. Say hello, Chelle.
Hi everyone.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. I know you've got a little person down there and he's fine to be on camera. So I'm gonna hand over to you and let you tell your story.
Thank you. Well, my name's Chelle. I'm a spiritual transformation coach for women, and I have been through just as much as anybody else, nothing more, nothing less. But I wanted to come on to share with you how I've managed to turn tragedy into triumph. As you can see, I've got a little one here, just quite happily having some bottles. This is little Harry. And he loves working with me during the day and night, to be precise. For me, I found my passion through the loss of two very close family members. I lost my nan to cancer, and she put up an 18-month battle. It was epic. She was given 3 to 6 months, and she was like, "No, it's not happening. I'm not going anywhere until I've seen grandchildren." And then, well, great-grandchildren for her. And me and my sister, we had our first children. And after she met them, she then decided that, she'd achieved her mission. And it was now time for her to allow what was going to be to be. Mm-hmm. And she also got to hear the news that I was about to have another one before she passed. So she was made up with that. And unfortunately, within just under 12 months, my dad went to the doctors for an appointment because he had quite bad chest pain, and he'd been putting it off for a while, and eventually we managed to talk him into going to the doctors. Mm-hmm. And sadly, pretty much immediately, we knew that something was wrong. They rushed him off for x-rays that day, and the next day we got a phone call asking him to go back down to the doctors for results. Right. And those of you who know what it's like to get hold of x-ray results from a doctor's, it can take 10 to 14 days, and sometimes you can still struggle to get hold of those results within that time frame. So the fact that we were getting a phone call the next day, we knew it was bad. We knew that we were going round for bad news. Right. And within a very short space of time, he deteriorated quite quickly, to the point where he never actually heard his full diagnosis. Wow. And he knew he had lung cancer, but through further tests to see the extent of it, they discovered that he had not only the lung cancer, but liver, kidney and lymph node. So they believed that it was likely to have started in either the liver or kidney, and the lung was probably the last, but had caused him the most issue, which then sent him to the doctors. Right. And like I said, unfortunately, he never even heard that full diagnosis, so he died thinking it was just lung cancer. Right. And that was exactly what my nan, his mum, had died of. Oh, gosh. And we lost my dad 1 year, 2 days difference from my nan.
Oh, my goodness.
It was a terrible time. As much as we knew we knew what was happening. And he was aware of it. To see such a strong man deteriorate to the point where he couldn't even open his eyes, and he never got that opportunity to tick off final things like my nan did. Right. It almost seemed to go from diagnosis to bedridden within a matter of days. Yeah. I mean, it may have been the shock of it. It may have just been the realization of, oh my God, it actually was as bad as I feared. But he literally went from having his hospital appointments to discover the extent of the situation to not being able to tick off anything at all. I'd not long had my second child, Alfie. He had my other child, Eva. He had my nephew from my sister. So he had 3 grandchildren that he'd longed for, and wasn't even in a state to be able to enjoy those final weeks with them. You know, he was really poorly, and for us as a family, the hardest part was to see him so weak. He'd always been known for his strength. You know, it was, oh, Gary will sort that, Gary will do this, you know, Gary's unshakable, Gary can lift that. He was very much known for being a strong, powerful figure within the family, within the community, within his friends. And to see him in the complete opposite was a huge task for us to deal with. And it extremely affected my mum. She got with him when she was 14. They were childhood sweethearts. They'd spent their entire life together. So for my mum, it was absolutely devastating. And I didn't think that at the age of 29, I would be facing losing my dad. You know, we expect our grandparents, great-grandparents to, you know, to go while we're younger, dependent upon their age, obviously. But no girl ever expects their dad to pass away before she's even hit 30. No. And he was only, you know, in his 50s. It was just devastating for us all. But for me, I'm very much like my dad, so I took on the role of, okay, so now I need to be the one to be strong for everybody, to get things done, to do the tasks that nobody really wants to do, making phone calls, making arrangements. It was really hard, but it was something that I knew I had to do. And still now, 4 years on, I'm very much the one in the family who gets the phone call to come and solve things when needed. And, you know, I do love that role. It's a nice way to still be connected to my dad. And it was a natural step. But for me, it really brought things home to me, because for the first few weeks, obviously, I took on this role of taking care of the nasty side of losing somebody, you know, funeral arrangements, calling banks, changing names on bills, and so on and so forth. But once all that stops and the people stop coming, or the contact becomes less and less, and you find that you suddenly have a lot of time to sit and think of things, and things, you know, start to go over on in your mind. You know, could we have pushed him to go to the doctor sooner? Would it have made a difference? Could we have spent more time as a family together before we even knew of what was happening? And it was during that period where things became quite difficult, and it was like, well, what's the point? You know, growing up as a young teenager, I lost my granddad, and I always remember him saying that he was looking forward so much to his retirement, for all the things that he could do, the time that he would get back to spend with his family. You know, he'd be able to pick us up from school or take us out during the summer. And he only got 6 months of his retirement, because he passed away of a sudden and unexpected heart attack. And then to lose my dad in his 50s, who didn't even get anywhere close to retirement, it was like, what is the point on doing, you know, working hard, of doing this, doing that, when it can be snatched away so quickly? And I decided that I needed to make changes, because I knew what it felt like to lose a parent. At a young age, you know, 29 is not old by any standard.
No.
But what I didn't want to do was then rob my children of me. So I picked myself back up. I dusted myself off, and I thought, right, I'm going to make working from home work for the long term, not just until they were at school age or nursery age. I'm going to make it work for the long term. I'm going to be at home every single day for as long as I decide necessary. And I'm going to do what I love and enjoy doing it, and be there for my children, because, you know, I'm of the generation where parents had the mentality of you work hard, you work long hours, and then you provide for your family. So my dad worked nights, my mum worked days, grandparents stepped in where needed for childcare.
Wow.
So we really only had weekends. Now, I'm not resentful at all. You know, I had a fantastic childhood. But as a family, we really only had weekends growing up.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that for my children. I wanted them to have me there at any event in school, when they were sick, you know, just literally be a present parent.
Yeah.
And it took a while, but I finally discovered my passion and my purpose because of what we'd shared growing up. And it turned out that me and my dad, we used to have a really big thing about gemstones.
Okay.
And there's a popular TV channel, I won't name names, but there's a popular TV channel on Sky and Freeview that sell a lot of jewellery. And we would spend hours sat watching that, pass and comment on, oh, that's lovely, or that's not big enough, and oh, when we win the lottery, we'll buy that particular gemstone because it's, you know, quite an expensive one.
Yeah.
And that was sort of our thing. And finally, it dawned on me, hey, hang on, maybe this is where my passion is. And that's when I set up Soul Vibration 18 months ago. And that is my baby, it was my third baby, it's now my fourth. And I sell crystal jewellery for the heal and benefits. Obviously, some people just do buy because it is pretty.
Right.
But I love the meaning behind the crystals, you know, the different energies from them. I love getting my hands in a box full of crystals and picking things out for people. And I turn that into my business. And 18 months later, it's now not only crystals, but I do intuitive card readings, I coach. And on the same day that this little one was born, just on 10 weeks ago, I became a #1 best-selling author, literally hours before Harry was born.
Wow.
So going through what I went through, finding my passion, finding my purpose, has now opened up so many doors that it's not a case of I'll make it work until I need to, you know, maybe go back to a normal 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's no option whatsoever of going back to employed. To be honest, I couldn't imagine it right now.
Right.
But you know, it's allowed me to be at home with Harry, to spend all of last week backwards and forwards with school, Christmas plays, nativities, all the usual Christmas stuff as a parent.
Yeah.
And I was able to go to every single performance they'd done, not just one. You know, I get to sit at home with them of a night, have tea, play games, learn, watch telly. So finding my purpose and finding my passion has been absolutely monumental for me and my family. But looking back now, I don't think I would have got there when I did if it hadn't have been for losing my nan, losing my dad, you know, having a bit of a health scare myself when I had a cough that wouldn't shift for 8 weeks, and I thought, oh God, no, not again. And luckily for me, everything was absolutely fine. It was just a cough that was hanging around. But you know, when you get your own health scare and you've got very young children, you think, wow, you know, time is not for hanging around. And because of what I'd been through, when I found myself as a single mum, at 5 months pregnant with Harry, I just knew, well, if I can get through all of that, then this is a walk in the park. I know how to be a mum. I know how to run a business. I know how to juggle. Harry will fit in quite nicely.
Right.
And everything's been absolutely fine. I mean, you know, I never expected to become a single mum. I never expected to become a #1 best-selling author the same day I gave birth.
Sure.
But it's been absolutely amazing. And I mean, I work like this quite often, and it's perfect. You know, how many people are lucky enough to earn a living from their couch, sat next to their Christmas tree, cuddling their baby?
Yeah.
So it's my mission to show other women that they can have this too, that no matter what they've been through in life, whether it's loss of family members, abuse, violence, mental health issues, it doesn't matter what you've been through, that there is always that light when you search for it. And it may take time, it may be a quick transformation, but it's always there if you really want it. And that's what I do now through the coaching side of my business, is to show people how I've done it so they can do it too.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
it really is an honour to be able to help women in that way. And that's why I wanted to come and jump on here, because I just love everything about the Be Glad movement, to show people that, yeah, life can be hard at times, but it's how we choose to respond that is the most important part of the journey. I could have shut down, I could have gone back to work and done something that didn't make me happy and missed out on the children. And I chose to take perhaps a slightly more difficult path of doing it myself, of being my own boss. But it's been the most rewarding thing in the world. To be able to impact women, to show them how to do it themselves. And if there's something that your viewers, your listeners, your readers are wanting to do, my advice is just get up and do it. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take. It doesn't matter why you are in the position you're in. Just take the action to make your dreams happen. And if you leave it, when you eventually do get there, you'll wonder why on earth you wasted so much time. And I don't want people to miss out on that happiness, that passion, that joy. So just take action, ladies. Just do it.
Just do it. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. I don't feel like I've got anything valuable to add, really, because you've just said it all. That's beautiful. I love your way of thinking. Obviously, it resonates with this project fully. And I love the fact that, at the start you were like, I'm just someone that has been through what I've been through, no less than anyone else. I love that you're very grounded, even though you're living this life where you feel super fulfilled, because you can be a mum, you can have your family around you, and you can run your very successful business. So I'll share links to the pages, your websites and everything, so that people can see this jewellery and find out a little bit more about you and your coaching. And love that we've got Harry on screen too, bless him.
He does like to make appearances since he was born. Anytime I'm on live video, he wakes up, wants feeding, wants cuddles, and you know what, it's great to be able to work with him, to not have the pressure of separating mum and business. I am a mum in business, and in some ways that attracts people, because they can say, I'm doing an interview with a baby in my arms, falling asleep. So again, it's, this is what I can do. So if I can do it, then I know you can too, and I can show you how. I couldn't imagine having to separate the two. So it's great working with people who also understand what it's like to have a family, to mix the two, to be mum, to be business badass, and backwards and forwards between the two within minutes. So it's been an absolute pleasure to be asked to come on here. And if anyone watching does have any questions, resonates with what I've shared today, and you just need to reach out, then please do. When my links are shared, my inbox is always open. So if you just need that ear, you just need that motivation, that little kick up the bum, then I'm your girl.
Awesome. That's so sweet of you. Thank you so much, Chelle. I really, really appreciate it. What was I going to say? I was going to say something profound, but I can't remember. No, I was just going to say that the whole being a mum and running a business, I think it's really important, actually, and having more small businesses would benefit the world so much more. I think we've got this idea that we have to be one or the other. You have to put on a perfect front of the businesswoman that's got it all together, or just be a stay-at-home mum. And it's not like that. And I love that you're working both together, so what looks like so effortlessly. So it's really inspiring, and I hope that more women feel that they can do the same, because I really think there's a lot of power in what women can achieve when they support each other. So thank you for that. I will share the links, obviously, and it's really kind of you to say that people can get in touch. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure, my pleasure. If you like this video, please do hit the like and subscribe button, and you'll get notifications when new videos are uploaded. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. If you search for @BeGladMovement, you're bound to find us, and you can get in touch and share your story if you'd like to. I would love to hear from you. Just to remind you, it doesn't have to be a video interview. You can write your story if you're a bit shy, and you can even send your story in anonymously if you feel like you'd like to do it that way. It all counts, because I really do believe that your story in your voice has the ability to help someone in their time of need. So please do get in touch. I'd love to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing you in another episode. Many thanks.